Welcome, welcome, welcome to my channel. I'm Shamika of Naturally M&S. I'm so glad that you decided to tune in today with me. I'm going to be sharing a journal that I'm making via sublimation. Um, Something that I've learned over the course of being at home due to the pandemic. I'm sure many of you out there have also started picking up on sublimation and some other things as well. But I'm new to YouTube. Figured why not get started now? It's something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. My channel is basically going to be focusing on all things craft, from sublimation to baking tips, because I'm a baker as well. Sewing, I sew as well. I'm not great at sewing, but it's something that I used to do as a child, and I want to really get back into it now. So that's something that we'll be learning, as well as making mugs on the Cricut mug press, because I recently got one of those. I have a Cricut Explorer Air as well. So it's a lot of different crafty things that we're going to be working on. And I'm so glad that you decided to tune in today. And I hope that you will continue to tune in. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. I want to stay around for a while. Also, please feel free to leave comments below if you see anything that you can help me with, some tips you want to share with me as well. If you have questions, please post those below as well. So again, thank you, and we're going to jump right in. First off, let me share that I created this design in Canva. I purchased the images off of Etsy, so that's not my image. But I do have Canva Pro. This is actually a design that I had previously done on a mug. Here's the mug. Should have shared that before I flipped the camera. Not really a good angle, but as you can see, trying to show you the whole thing. That's the mug. So what I did was I went into Canva and I resized it and shifted some things around in order to come up with this lineup so that it would fit good on the journal. I'm not going to go through the step-by-steps on this particular video because I actually decided to do the video after I completed it. So that's my bad. But I will have a future video coming where I will take you step by step as I design it in Canva. But here's what it looks like right now after I've done everything in Canva. And I have actually downloaded it and saved it on my computer. And I have uploaded it into Silhouette Studio. This will come in a future video as well. There are multiple ways that you can print out your designs so that you can use them in sublimation. For my purposes, I like using Silhouette Studio because it's very easy to resize your image so that you can get it printed out in the size that you need it to be. We will do a future video on that as well. So please be patient and wait for that one. But I wanted you to see this part, which is in Silhouette Studio. And I've clicked print, which I'll show you that really quickly. And then I do a print preview. So I have to click print again, which brings up my print dialog box here. Click my preferences. And then I am printing this on 8.5 by 14 paper, landscape as well, premium presentation paper matte for sublimation paper to go through my Epson 2720, which I didn't note that ahead of time as well, but that's what I use to print on. And my print quality I've changed to high. I've turned off the reverse order because that usually pops up. Next options here, more options, I click on. And then I go down to click on mirror image because whenever you are sublimating, you have to mirror your image, which we'll get further into in future videos as well. So after that, you're clicking OK and you're clicking print, which I've already done and my image has already printed. So for now, I'm just going to click cancel again to go out to my main screen. And we're going to go over here to, I'm going to grab my image over here on the printer. Give me one moment. Okay, so I've shifted around a little just so that I can explain about the journal. Here's my image that I printed out. As you can see, it's on 8.5 by 14 sublimation paper. I use Craft and Besties, as you can see on the back. That is thus far the best sublimation paper that I've tried. The ink release is just completely out of this world. It's really great. And here's my journal. This is a sublimation journal. It comes in pieces in a little plastic bag here. I'm gonna pull it out and then you can see what I'm talking about. As you can see, it's not put together. This is the binding. This is your actual notebook. Here is the middle binding piece, the middle, I don't know what that's called, the piece to go in the middle. Okay, and so what you basically will be doing is taking your paper and you're going to be taping it down to the journal as such to press with your heat press. So, and then that's how that works. So I'm going to turn the camera around so you guys can see me cut the paper to size and as well tape it down. Okay, so I use the swing line cutter to cut my paper, and I purchased this at Target. Didn't cost very much. I'm not really going to worry about these little borders here because, as you know, or if you didn't know, with sublimation, it does not print the white anyway. So there's no real need to go all the way with that. So we're just going to cut this excess on this end here. And if you leave a little bit of white, that's fine as well. Or in my experience, it's been fine. So if someone else has had issues, I don't know anything about that part, but it's worked great for me. So next, I'm going to tape this part down, and I don't usually stress a whole lot with this. Let me get that. I'm using clear heat tape as well because you will need heat tape for this. I don't really worry too much about getting it perfect. I'm not really a perfectionist, but just try to get it as close to it as you can. And I just kind of run off the edge and hit the paper on the side with my tape so that it sticks that part. And I just kind of go around on all sides also. So I'm going to spin this just a little to see if I like how that is lined up. And I don't. So, like I said, I'm not a perfectionist. Not trying to get it perfect, but I still would like it to be lined up decently. Okay, so there we go. That's a little better. All right, so now we're going to press that again with my finger. And we're going to press this side as well. Get that tape down there. We're going to do one on the uppers, one on the lowers, on the front and the back, what would be the front and the back covers, like that. Okay, and since we have that nice and pressed down, we should not have any issues flipping this and having anything shift around. So we're just going to pick it up, flip it, just like that. Okay, and just bring that tape that we have, the excess, bring it around to the back. Just like that. Press it down. Like that. Like that. We're not trying to pull it tight because remember we have the extra. We're just trying to keep the paper in place. Okay, so now that's stuck down. So now we're gonna go over and put it on the heat press. Alrighty, so as you can see, I have my press set up already. It's already heated up. It is on 400, and the temperature is 400, and the time is set at 60. You see 402 because as it sits for a little while, it does get a little bit hotter than the temperature you set it for. As you also can see, I'm using butcher paper on the bottom level of my press to keep the ink from bleeding out on my press. That's definitely something that I recommend you do. As well, we're going to add another sheet on top simply because I tend to have a lot of bleed through. I don't really know why or what causes it, but it does happen. So we're just gonna add, excuse me, with all the noise, another sheet over the top. And I do have a Teflon sheet under here. If you don't know what that is, you can Google it. I will also put a link to my Amazon store where you can actually get the link for that. My Teflon sheet is there. We're going to, as you can see now that I've started fooling with it, the temperature has gone down a little. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Oh, I almost messed up. Before I go another further, one thing you need to do is you don't want any void. And right now we'll have a void and we'll have ghosting in that middle. And what ghosting is an area on your design that does not, where the color does not press completely. So it looks a little faded and a little like whitish. It's not as deep in color as the rest of your design. So without putting that little piece of cardboard there, you will have ghosting in the middle. So let me grab that. Okay. So as you can see, I've added that piece back into the middle. And I've kind of taped it down a little with a little bit of the heat tape just to make sure that it stays in place. So now we're going to go ahead and flip this back over and press it. Okay, so it's under there. We are pressing and we're going to hit our button here so that the timer will begin as soon as the temperature hits 400, which shouldn't be too long. Okay, so we've just gotten that off the press. Let's go ahead and remove this. Look at that color release. I tell you, Craftin' Besties is the best ink. Sublimation paper. I also use Printer's Jack ink, which I got off of Amazon. So this is Craftin' Besties paper, which you can go to their website to purchase. And this is Printer's Jack ink. Look at that ink release. Came out great. As you can see, it's kind of went a little wobbegone a little, but once you put it all together and stick everything down, I usually go back and I press it on under the press again, and everything's like levels out, so you won't have an issue with this. Okay, so we're back over here at the table. A few things that I've done is, I don't know if it's necessary, but I feel more secure in adding double-sided tape. So as you can see, I've added just strips of it along the edges and down the middle of each page, like the front and the back cover. Here's my middle binding. I've taken that out and I've actually cut that down some. I hope you guys can see that there good. I've cut it down some because what I've noticed is when you keep it the full size, it's hard to get the book to fold into itself well. So I always cut that part down a little. As you can see, I didn't cut it evenly because it's kind of hard to cut on my cutter. But I've cut some of that off. So now I'm going to remove the backing of the double-sided tape on this side here. Stick down. Sometimes it wants to act a little uptight. But basically, I'm going to go along and remove all of this from each side. Make sure that it's stuck down pretty good as well before you go to remove it. My X-Acto knife usually helps me get up under there pretty good. And press that side down as well. Okay, so that's the back. So we're going to go ahead and stick the back side down. Well, actually, that's the front. Please, please, please make sure to always go back and check before you press, because you do not want to press it upside down, because these books come with like a little bookmark, these journals, as you can see there, and it's stuck to the top. So you don't want to press it upside down and have the bookmark upside down. We're going to remove this little piece as well. It's supposed to be like some glue here, but quite honestly, it's not really good. These journals can be found on Etsy and several other places. There's several vendors that carry them. Sublimation blank vendors that carry them. So, a Google search can find those for you. I would share where I purchased these from, but I really haven't gotten any feedback on them yet, so I'm not sure how good they are for your clients. So I would prefer to hold on to that until I know for sure that they're, you know, pretty decent. I'm going to go ahead and add a strip of the double-sided tape through the middle of this binding, that middle binding section as well. And this double-sided tape I actually got from the dollar store, Dollar Tree. I have a gun, actually a double-sided tape gun, but I'm out, so I have to go and get some more and re-up on that. But for now, this is gonna have to do, and hopefully this will work out okay. So let's peel that off. That came off good. So we're going to add this piece back. Let's do that way. There we go. And we're just going to press it into that. We're going to add another strip here. I'm not really sure that it'll do much against the plastic there of the book itself, but we're just going to add it anyway, just because it's never a situation where you can have too much double-sided tape. So we're going to move that as well, if it will let us. There we go. And I also like to go back through just really quickly and snip off the excess on the sides with a pair of scissors so that it doesn't hang over the book too much. Do that on the top and the bottom. There we go. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and remove the tape from the back side now. As you can see, it's not very complicated to remove this tape. It's just making sure that it is pressed down first before you try to pull it. Because it usually lifts very well with this X-Acto knife. Okay, last piece. Kind of went over each other there a little. Come on. There we go. And we're going to unfold that piece that we just folded over. There we go. So there's that. Everything is on there. Let's use this, if I can pick it up, to grab this here off this back side. There we go. And we're going to pull that off. It's kind of tearing a little. Grab that again. There we go. So pull that off. All the way around. And just fold that into itself. Nice and snug. So that it goes all the way across the back of the book. There we go. Alright, and there we have it. There's our journal. As you can see, it's still a little wobbly on, but we're going to press that again just for a couple of seconds, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here we have the finished product. As you can see, it's now laying flat. I just pressed it, flipped the book, each side and pressed for maybe 30 seconds on each side. Not very long at all, front and back. It's now laying flat, as you can see. And there's our mug to match, which, as I stated, I made the mug quite a while ago. Now I have a journal to match. Doesn't it look wonderful? Look at that ink release. That's Craft and Besties sublimation paper and Printer's Jack sublimation ink. So thank you so much for tuning in, joining me as I completed my sublimation journal, front and back, as you can see. Came out very great. Very happy with the results. Pages, you see the inside is stuck down. Decent. Like it's not coming up. It's stuck pretty good. Pages are flipping. There's our bookmark running through the middle there. With our matching mug. There we go. Few takeaways. I use Crafting Besties sublimation paper, and I use Printer's Jack sublimation ink. I also use an Epson 2720 printer. I have a 12 by 9 heat press. Used clear heat tape as well. I'm going to link quite a bit of everything below so that you guys can have an idea of what all was used. As well, some of the items that I used, I ordered on Amazon, and I have an affiliate link that you can use to that will take you to those items where you can purchase them on Amazon. Of course, it costs nothing for you to use the link. For me, it drops a couple pennies my way, so I'd appreciate it. If you guys, again, have any questions or tips or whatever, drop them in the comments below. And again, thank you again for tuning in. Please make sure that you continue to tune in. Look out for future videos. Make sure that you share, like, and subscribe. Have a great one.